Well, I guess there are a lot of people that will find in certain relationships that they would be more mean or more critical and more judging or more demanding. Might be of their spouse, wife, or the husband, or it might be more highly critical and mean toward the children, might be toward an employee, might be toward students at schools, whatever, but we can fall into being mean and judging. Now, how does that happen? It comes from our old programming. Because our brains, we learned how to have a brain, the computer, from how the brain works. And so if we have things in our computer that gum it up and bring out programs that we don't like, we press delete, 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 and we install new programs in our computer. Well, if that's the way we learned that about our computer, that we got it from how the brain works, that means we can do the same thing with our brains. We don't have to stay stuck in that particular way of being nasty towards someone, because all we're doing when we're being that, we're attracting it. We're attracting back everything we're emanating. And so if I'm being critical towards somebody, I'm going to attract more criticism from them. If I'm being angry and judging, they're more likely to be angry and judging. If they're being loving and kind, if we're being that, they're more likely to be that. So what I'm thinking and feeling comes out of my deepest programming from my childhood. And if it's still there, then I'm going to play it out unless I catch it and realize, nope, that doesn't really help me. That's only caused me pain. And maybe I can use one of these new tools to deactivate that old programming, because I don't want to play that out and attract that into my life, my relationships, or even my health anymore. Well, we all had our programming because when we were born, there was hardly any programming except what was in the genes in our bodies at all. And so we began to just program in, we would copy what our parents said or did or felt, how we were treated. That was a part of our early formation. They say we have more learning experiences in the first year of life than any other year of our lives. And yet none of us remembers that. But if our parents were being loving and kind, or if they were being nasty and critical or fighting and arguing, or if they were remote and distancing versus being loving and there nurturing and holding us, that all got programmed in. And if that got programmed in, then I'm more likely to be that way myself and to interpret other people as being that way. Now we know from the science of quantum physics, now it's begun to permeate psychology, there's research there, but we know there's no such thing as a private thought. Every thought we think, we're part of one unified field, as Einstein put it. He says it's just an optical illusion we're separate. So we think that other people are doing something to us, and that's what's upsetting us. But we don't really see that I'm giving my interpretation to everything I see based on my past programming and experience. And as I do that and hold that energy, I'm actually attracting more of it too. And so if I can begin to see that, I stop being as much of a powerless victim. And I can own my own power to make the choice of change and seeing differently and interpreting differently and emanating different energy to the person around me, whether it's an employee, whether it's a spouse, whether it's a student or friend or whoever it might be. But I can begin to realize that whatever I'm emanating, I'm attracting it back. And if I can get that, I feel much, much less like a powerless victim. Not to blame myself ever for it, but just to learn from it. Because if we see everything and all the challenges in life, not as something horrible happening to me, but each one is an opportunity for me to learn a little more deeply. When I can see it that way, then I don't fall into stress so much. I learn from it, whereas if I don't learn from it, I feel more and more victimized and more stressed. Certainly, if you'd like to learn more about these methods or these tools or the combinations of them and how they work, I'll be glad to talk with you about it. You could contact me by phone or by email, or you could call me and we could make an appointment or two and we could discuss it more in relation to your area, your issues, your problem areas, and what would be effective for you to do together. So I'd be happy to explore those things with you. I have people who want to come in person can see me in New York City or in Westport, Connecticut. Others may prefer to have session by Zoom or telephone or FaceTime or things like that. So that's possible too, especially during this coronavirus situation. So whatever works for you is I'm open to explore with you. But I'd be glad to answer any questions you might have about what this therapy is like.